Twins ball court myth. Twins play a major role in Mayan mythology. 1 Hunahpu and 7 Hunahpu, sons of the original creator couple Xpayakak and Xmucain, were the first of 2 sets of twins. 1 Hunahpu and 7 Hunahpu are said to have been great ball players. Oh, the ball game. Here, let me give you an overview. The game was played with a rubber ball in a court, which was made of 2 parallel structures with end zones, giving the court an I shape. The players controlled the ball using their thighs, hips, and upper arms. Images at the court at Chichen Itza indicate a skull may have been put inside the ball to create a hollow center. The only time the ball was touched with the hand was to put it into play. The goal of the game was to aim the ball towards rings or markers set along the alley or in the end zones. Although the game was played for recreation, it was also used in ritual. In these games, the captain of one of the teams is decapitated. Whether he came from the losing or winning team is debated. Another type of ball game was also played. The instruments in this game resemble field hockey sticks and were used to hit a small ball. The court and goals were defined by freestanding markers of round discs on top of posts. Only men and gods played these 2 games. The games are considered to be symbolic of the movements of the heavenly bodies, particularly the sun, moon, and the planet Venus. The ball itself may have been seen as the sun journeying in and out of the underworld. Okay, so back to the hero myth. The noise from the playing of their ball game on Earth disturbed the lords of the underworld. These lords of Xibalba, which was the Mayan underworld, summoned the twins to play against them. Along their journey to the underworld, the twins ran into a series of trials, which they failed and were soon sacrificed and buried by the lords of Xibalba. Before 1 Hunahpu was buried, though, his head was cut off and placed in the fork of a tree on the road to Xibalba. 1 Hunahpu miraculously impregnated a maiden named Blood Girl, causing her to bear the 2nd hero twins. These twins were named Hunahpu and Xpalank, and they were adventurous from birth. As infants, the 2 turned the jealous sons of their father's earlier marriage into monkeys. This alludes back to the creation story where monkeys were left as a reminder of the wooden people. Eventually, Hunahpu and Xpalank discovered their father and uncle's ball game gear, so, like the previous twins, they played the ball game, angered the lords of the underworld, and were challenged. The 2 succeeded, though, where their predecessors failed, and ascended to the sky. Though seemingly to have died, they became part of the life force. One came to own the moon, and the other the sun. Quetzalcoatl. As in the heroic cycle, Quetzalcoatl had a miraculous birth, which varies with each version of the story. He grew up a sheltered penitent man and became the ruler priest of Tolan. Even though you see human sacrifice in Mayan culture, Quetzalcoatl was against this practice and created a utopian kingdom. The actions of Quetzalcoatl as a ruler are thought to be what Mayans considered ideal. Tragically, Quetzalcoatl was destroyed by a god named Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca took the form of a sorcerer and sought to make the great ruler aware of his physicality and darker side, which played little role in Quetzalcoatl's life. Tezcatlipoca presented the ruler with a mirror named Smoking Mirror. The magical mirror scared Quetzalcoatl, as in it he appeared ugly and disfigured. After seeing this, the king ordered the sorcerer to cover his body with plumed finery and to cover his face with a beautiful mask. Quetzalcoatl suffered with his newfound sense of repulsiveness and soon died. How and where he died varies with each version. In all cases, however, when Quetzalcoatl died, he became part of the sky. Thus, this king came to be called Lord of the House of Dawn. Quetzalcoatl became the planet Venus, which began his descent into death. For 4 days he descended, and then for 4 days he ascended. On the 8th day he was, therefore, reborn as the planet Venus. The name Quetzalcoatl came from later Aztec and can be broken down into the following. Quetzal, which is a rare bird with green feathers inhabiting the highlands of Chiapas and Guatemala. This bird is prized in Mesoamerica for the male's tail feather, which is often a yard in length. Hunters were forbidden to kill this bird, but rather stunned it, remove the tail feather, and set it free. The second half of Quetzalcoatl, coatl, is a word for snake, but this word can even be broken further down. Co is a generic term for serpent or snake in the Maya language, and atl, which is a Nahua word for water. The god Quetzalcoatl was described as being the color of jade. He was the wind god, God's messenger, and also the road sweeper. He discovered maize, allowing people to come into being.
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza was a Mayan city located on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, which was dedicated to this feathered serpent god known as Quetzalcoatl. You can see this city on the map at the top of the screen. Chichen Itza was both a great urban and religious center. El Castillo, which means the castle in Spanish, is the central pyramid located at this site. This pyramid is dedicated to the god Quetzalcoatl as seen by the symbol of the feathered serpent. Almost 80 feet tall, this structure is famous for its apparition of the serpent descending down the pyramid. As the sun sets during the spring and fall equinoxes, the light casts a shadow, creating the appearance of a snake that gradually descends down the stairway of the pyramid. At the base of this apparition is the stone head of the feathered serpent. Also, if one stands at the bottom of the pyramid a certain distance away and then claps, one can hear the call of the Quetzal bird in the echo. Another part of Chichen Itza is the cenote. Many of these water-filled sinkholes are located in the area. This is the sacred cenote at Chichen Itza, where human sacrifices were made. In this cenote, gold, jade, incense, and human remains were found. Chichen Itza is the location of the largest known ball court in Mesoamerica. It measures over 145 meters long, which is about 159 yards. On the side of the court, one can see elaborate stone reliefs illustrating Mayan ceremonies of human sacrifice and the ball game. Although the Mayan civilization is no longer, its stories are still transferred through myth. It is through these myths that we can understand how they lived and how they explain, well, everything.